And good evening, East Africa. My name is Shadrach Kisame. Welcome to the continent's leading intellectual platform, actually the highest platform for solution finding, The Desk. Now, thank you very much for watching U24 television. We are certainly and absolutely sure every time you watch U24, you're inspired, you're motivated, and above all, you are educated. Like tonight, you're going to be educated about the mysterious scientific election that actually has taken over the country by storm. Whatever that means, I do not know. But tonight, my guest, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Donald Elvis Wasake. He's going to be making us understand what a scientific election is to a voter, what a scientific election is to a candidate. Now, Mr. Donald Elvis Wasake, he's a data analyst, anything to do with figures, computing figures digitally. He's from Brothers LLC. Welcome to the show, Donald.
Yes, thank you very much, Shadrach, for having me here today.
Good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while. How has the year been to you, sir?
It's been okay.
Has it been scientific? Has it been empirical?
I actually don't. It's been scientific. We've been indoors.
Oh yes,
the entire time.
Yes.
Let's just dive into it.
Yes.
Scientific election.
Yes.
To a layman, what is that?
Scientific election to a layman should simply be an election that is driven by data. An election that is driven by numbers, an election that's driven by empirical evidence, it's driven by exactness. That is the science in the election. It's no longer, it is still artistic. Candidates will still talk with colorful language, but they need to be able to say these things here from a scientific point of view.
Okay.
The numbers are now going to talk more than they ever did in any other election in Uganda's history.
Whether that is realistic or not, we shall find out in the next segment. However, what does this mean? Because that is for a candidate. What does this mean to a voter down there?
It means a voter is actually in a very good position to follow up the affairs of their respective candidates. What do I mean? If I go onto social media and my candidate's campaign adverts are on there and manifesto, they'll be reached onto me easier. If I turn on a TV, if I turn on radio, if I go to a newspaper,
Yes.
the candidates' manifestos and information are there much easily. That is the science.
Okay.
It is no longer about gambling of where am I going to find this information, where can I do this. It's now readily available. The word science here is just a representative of empirical.
Okay.
It's representative of numbers. It's
Okay.
representative of exactness.
All right.
That's what they mean by scientific election.
Oh, wow. And you see, whether you're pro or anti scientific elections, it has had a lot of backfire from the public.
Yes.
People do not want it.
Yes.
What do you want to tell someone who is against?
I can tell someone who is against a scientific election, one, their fears are unfounded and baseless because they just don't understand what the science stands for. For a voter out there, this means that all the information you've been looking for must readily be available now. There won't be room for speculation if candidate X came and you didn't attend his rally. Because we're in a scientific election, candidate X will need to provide their information via a website, maybe. As a voter, you can go there and get these things here. Right now, what they're just showing us, what voters need to know, that this is the best election they'll actually ever have in terms of knowing, in terms of following up, and in terms of putting their candidates on the spot.
So, you people are very enthusiastic about this, but I'm thinking this has only put in consideration people that have access to the internet, the youth, and you've left out the biggest population that are in rural areas.
Yes.
What is your say to the people in the rural areas? How will they vote? How will they have this knowledge that you're giving to someone probably out there who has gone to school?
Well, the people in rural areas are not left out in the sense that you're only focusing on internet right now and social media penetration. But there are very many other means of people getting information. Radio. What this means, what the science is trying to say is that be more exact in your message. You don't need to meet 100 people if you're going to have a campaign rally. Right now, meet these people through SMSs. Meet these people through prompt phone calls. Meet these people through your website.
But is that effective? Because if you send Shadrach a text message, vote for me for Kawempe, blah, 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 I could even not read it.
Yes.
How will you know that you have been efficient?
Well, that is where the data and the science becomes interesting. And as brothers intelligence, this is our forte. This is our point of strength where we prepare our candidates to effectively reach their electorate. If you receive the SMS, that triggers around top of mind awareness. But if that is followed up with a phone call the next day, if that is followed up by my advert running on radio, if that's followed up by the people seeing me on TV, I've hit you from 4 angles. It's now more exact, and you can even have the chance to interface with me via phone. Ask me any questions that you want. And you know, people may not believe this, but with a scientific election, it actually favors a person who's just starting out. It favors a candidate with no money, because the reach is more effective.
Okay, because I want, as we go for a short break, I want to understand you from a perspective of the candidate.
Yes.
But the voter, you're not putting us into perspective. We want to see these people.
Yes.
We want to know, because usually the traditional or the
Yes.
generic way of campaigning has always been
Yes.
you meet your
Yes.
person, you talk, even when he meets you, like say 100, you talk to
Yes,
them,
yes.
you feel them one-on-one.
Yes.
But I feel like you're trying to eliminate this kind of upfront confrontation.
Well, it's not us eliminating, and I am not into politics, so I'm not a policymaker. I'm not light there. But unprecedented times call for unprecedented solutions and situations. There's a COVID-19 pandemic that is raging across the entire world.
Right.
What does that mean? There is disruption. People need to adapt.
Okay.
This is not something that has been going on all the time. This is the new normal. This is the new normal. So what does that mean? Anybody who is left behind needs to jump onto the scientific bus. They need to equip themselves. They need to be enlightened for this new normal here.
All right. Now we're going for a short break. When we come back, Donald, now you're going to take the viewers through the actual voting.
Yes.
How are they going to do it scientifically, and the mystery behind it?
Yes.
Okay, now do not go away. You are still on the continent's leading intellectual platform, the highest platform for solution finding, The Desk. Do not go away. The Desk returns in a bit. We are at the Nube and we are live. Back to this very lovely episode of The Desk, where we're talking more of scientific elections. Now, I tell you, it has been on the words of most of the people in the country. Most of them do not understand it. And I tell you, this is the first of a series of episodes that we're going to be educating and sensitizing people about the scientific election, how they can adapt, because adaptability is key. Now, you can follow this very lovely discussion on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That is for Shadrack Kisame. Now, this episode is live on YouTube. Shadrack Kisame. Just type in Shadrack Kisame on YouTube. You'll be able to find us there anytime. Now, we are at the Nube. The Nube is actually on Kampala Road, opposite Shell, opposite KCB. Walking, lovely atmosphere, lovely people for your kitchenware, homeware, and gardening. We're still with Donald Elvis Wasake of Brothers LLC, and he's actually trying to pitch to us that they are the best consultation firm when it comes to scientific and analytic elections. Donald, take us to the voting. How are the voters involved?
Well, as by law right now, what the Electoral Commission has prescribed is scientific campaigns. Campaigns with no lively contact, what we've been used to. But voting is going to be normal. People are going to line up and vote. If we were to take this to the real sense of scientific, that means we'll be voting by mail. Because in the American election right now, there are some states which have legalized voting by mail. Shadrack, you stay home, you know you have candidate XY, you go onto your SSD code and say, I'm voting X. You have still exercised your right, you've still exercised your power, but in the comfort of your home, using technology scientifically. So, the voting process, the actual casting of the ballot is traditional.
Okay.
And that's where very many political actors are having problems. They are saying, if we are voting normally, why aren't we campaigning normally?
I would also think so. Why not?
So I think this is a question for the Electoral Commission to answer and the people in Parliament. But as technocrats who understand data, we are telling the candidates out there, number one, to win this election, you need to have a voter register.
That's true.
Voter register fully analyzed with the demographics, showing that in village X, I have 100 people, women. Women of this age here, men of this age, they are employed in this sector. That ability to read the demographic on a spreadsheet will help you coin your message.
Donald, it takes me to this very important question. Haven't you left out a segment of Ugandans?
Which ones?
For instance, people are biased about this already.
Because they don't know. But now we are here to enlighten them that if you're a political candidate right now, this is the best election to run in with a very slim budget. Because once you create content once, and it's on your social media pages, your website, you've already cut down on a lot. If you're doing SMSs and telephone calls, you've minimized transport costs and those other things. You are more efficient. This election here is for the efficient. This election is for the effective. This election is for people who are insightful and have a glance into the future.
You are a man of research, and by far over the years, I know you do that.
Yes.
You have gone to villages
Yes.
where there is no electricity penetration.
That's true.
Radios are a hassle.
Yes.
Absolutely no TV.
Yes.
No phone.
Yes.
How is scientific campaigns going to happen in such a kind of environment?
Well, like how you put it, some people don't have these things here. I think a scientific election has just prepared us for the future. Very many people are going to be left out unless the government does something, provides radio for those people there, because they were saying they're going to provide radios, television sets, and that kind of thing.
And at that point, Donald,
Yes.
is when I would like to say, what is government doing?
Government, I think, is doing a lot.
That is too much money, taxpayers' money going to be.
What, for sensitization, for people to
Radios.
exercise, for people to
I don't know,
exercise their
people
basic
to do
rights,
campaigns.
for people to exercise their basic rights. It is your right to vote. It's your right to understand your candidates. So the government must do everything in its power
Yes.
to make sure that you understand what you're getting into. And this country has money. This country has money.
Isn't
to
that
facilitate
cheaper?
all those
Isn't that
things.
cheaper vis-a-vis the traditional campaigns?
It is cheaper, but more expensive in terms of life. Remember, the duty of the government, number one, is to protect life. We don't want to have people dying.
Okay.
We need to go through the election and people are safe and sound. So given the unprecedented times, this is what it calls for. But for candidates who are steadfast and ready, this is very good news. It is excellent news to go into a campaign with a small budget. You can work wonders. Even Barack Obama's campaign of 2008 was, I would say, scientific per se, because that's the first time we saw social media being used.
Yeah, blowing up.
Blowing up.
Yes, that's true.
When we come to Donald Trump, Donald Trump is one of the biggest showmen.
Yes.
He leveraged on his showmanship to get free airtime.
Yes, on his
to
social
ride
media.
on scandal after scandal
Yes,
to get
that's true.
airtime. Right now, the election is for the smart. For a new candidate out there, I can assure you, right now, the sky is the limit. Because if we provide you the necessary information you need, you will win.
Do you think we have any ready candidates for this?
The candidates, they have become ready. Before the announcement, they were not ready. But right now, they are ready. And we have helped them as Brothers Intelligence. We have helped them demystify scientific elections per se.
But
now
aren't they too many for your farm?
Well, I can't say there are many. The few who have come on board really understand what they are getting into. They understand that science has now finally taken precedent. I'll give you an example of Donald Trump's win again. Donald Trump won because of the services of Cambridge Analytica.
Yes.
Cambridge Analytica helped read the population easier for him and his campaign team. He was just in a position of saying yes, no, maybe. Now, that is what firms like Brothers Intelligence do. We read the demographics,
Yes.
psychometrics. By the time you go and utter any statement, your policies have been researched. You know who you're talking to. You know exactly what your message is.
Donald, don't you think that is being a little bit over ambitious?
How?
Because
But
what
the
you're
world is
trying to
built
do,
on ambition.
what you're trying to do
Yes.
is something that was done in the first world country, the United States
Yes,
of America.
yes.
That cannot be directly applicable in Uganda.
Why not?
Because of the technology gap.
Exactly. Technological gap.
Yes.
The influence of the internet and technology is
Look
moving.
at the internet reach, internet access in the US and internet access in Uganda.
Yes, we are not disputing that a vast majority of Ugandans don't have this. But the person who is in Kampala, who is tech savvy and who is on internet, is at the same pace as a person in New York. That is already a tremendous step, because it was not the case in the 70s where there was no communication.
Right.
Right now we're in the age of information.
Right.
We're not in the Stone Age where whoever had the most strength survives and wins.
Yes.
Here it's who has the information and the technology wins. So those who are tech savvy, those who know the science of the election are going to take the day. And that's exactly what we're offering here. People to understand the demographic, people to understand their electorate easier and simplified.
So as we wind up this whole thing, a candidate watching you there who did not know anything about Brothers Intelligence LLC, what is your advice to them? Is it a money thing?
Candidate, whoever is watching, I think this has been the best time you're going to run right now. Because for the first time, an underdog will have the same footing as an incumbent. The
You're so confident about
yes, I'm
that.
very confident. Who knew Donald Trump would win? But Cambridge Analytica helped him win.
Okay.
Yes, and we're in the same psychometric game. Shadrach, if you were a candidate today and I came with a spreadsheet and said in Bukoma and Simbi, there are 40 men. These 40 men are unemployed. These 40 men are probably prospective agriculturists. Wouldn't that help you coin your message?
Yeah,
it would.
It would be good. It would be good.
The elections have been artistic and they've been gambling. You don't know what you're saying. You're just doing things on public sentiment. But if you have a poll that is well researched, you have contacts of your database. Okay, your register has been analyzed. Your policy manifesto.
But you know, in the
integrated.
US, the same polls we are saying Donald Trump is going to lose.
Some of them. Some of them, like the CNN polls and that kind. But there are some polls which us were following, which were spot on. Okay, and they actually predicted this right. So that is the best practice we are bringing to our candidates here.
Donald, let's wind this up. Talk to the candidate there.
Candidates, you have a tremendous chance to win an election with the right data, the right science, and the right applications to put into use. This is the only time in this generation here that you're going to have the same footing like an incumbent who has all the money and has all the top of mind awareness. It's all possible with the scientific election and the kind of services that we're going to offer. Good luck.
All right, now thank you very much. You know, this is the new normal. We cannot
Indeed.
handshake. This is the new normal. Now, you've been a lovely audience. Thank you very much for watching U24. Thank you very much for watching The Desk. I tell you, this is the highest level of intellectuality right here. Now, this is actually the first of the series of the scientific election episodes that we're going to have, so that we can sensitize the public, so we can educate you guys, so that you can know what exactly entails the scientific election. Now, from me and the entire U24 management would like to sign out. Would like to say good night, good luck, adios, for good and my country. God bless beautiful Uganda. Viewers, how are you doing today? Now, this one is a special one. It's an exclusive. We are actually celebrating 1 year of The Desk on U24 television. Now, this wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for you people, the audience. You have kept on supporting us. You have kept on asking for more. You have kept on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You have all kept on asking us for more content, and this has actually stimulated our work ethic for us to continue delivering, and we are so grateful. Now, there are people that we cannot fail to mention on this 1 year anniversary. First of all, U24. Thank you very much, U24 television, for supporting The Desk. You saw the vision and you came on to us. The manager, U24 television, Mr. Dennis saw this vision and he straight away went with it. He didn't even take time. He was like, no, I need The Desk on here, and he took it up. Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis. The entire U24 team, my producer Benson, thank you very much. Through thick and thin, you've been with the desk. We've been able to come to the people live just because of your hard work and your effort. Thank you very much, Mr. Benson Mujuzi, Afizu, U24, Shame from U24, Ivan from U24, the entire team at U24, Victor, thank you very much. You have been patient with me. I know I'm not one of the best people to work with because I am super perfectionist. So I want things to be done on time, and sometimes I get out and we get out of our way, but nonetheless we have kept on delivering. Now thank you very much the team at U24. Now next is thank you very much Danube Home Uganda joined us after our 6 months of broadcast, and they came on and they've been on for 6 months. Danube Home, thank you very much for joining the team. They have given us this lovely ambience whenever we are shooting. There's no friction. Lovely people, thank you very much. Mr. Aineviona Becker, the proprietor for Danube Home Uganda, the management at Danube, Mr. Leo, and everyone, thank you very much Danube Home for being part of this lovely journey. Now you, my guests, you, the audience, this year we are coming back bigger and better in terms of content this year. Now, because we know every time we come to you it's for a solution. Now this year the solution is actually going to be way bigger and better. We're going to come and avail you with your daily contemporary solutions for your daily contemporary life. Now, thank you very much for being with us this whole year. Thank you so much. Now more than ever, I still remain yours, Shadrack Shagaf Kisame.